सहायज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाच प्रजापति अनेन प्रसविष्याधुमेश भुवस्त्विष्टकामधुक् Saha along with Yajna sacrifices, Prajaha generations, Srishtva creating, Pura anciently, Vacha said, Prajapati, the Lord of creatures, Anena by this, Prasvi said Bhivam be more and more prosperous, Esha this, Vaha your, Astu let it be, Ishta of all desirable things, Kamadhuk bestower. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, Be thou happy by this sacrifice, by this yajna, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. Maybe once you can repeat after me. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, Be thou happy by this sacrifice or yajna, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. So, the third chapter name is Karma Yoga. Correct. Basically, how to connect our karma with the Supreme Lord. Okay. And in the beginning, or if you look at the overview of third chapter, in the first two verses, 1 and 2, Krishna talked about, or in fact, Arjuna asked, what is best? Is it renunciation of work or work with devotional service? Which is better? Because he wanted to leave the battlefield. And then Krishna, in answer to this question, explained renunciation is not easy and not recommended prematurely. Means it is not essential for one to leave his duties to become spiritualist. Okay. which is the misconception many people have, that if they want to follow the path of spirituality, they have to renounce everything. They have to leave everything. That is not the case, Krishna is suggesting. He's suggesting for people like us who are grahasthas, have a lot of responsibilities, renouncing our duties or work is not the solution. He's saying you work with the Nishkama Karma Yoga, which means don't renounce karma, renounce karma phala, or the fruit of the action, right? So basically, you work with knowledge and detachment to the fruit. And then in the 3.9 verse, if you remember, Krishna talked about Jagannath. You do it for the pleasure of Vishnu. Offer your fruit to Vishnu. Otherwise, if you remember, he said, I read exactly the translation. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. And we discuss enough what exactly it means by bondage in this material world. Basically, one has to get material body again and again and suffer all, miseries associated with this material body. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way, you will always remain free from bondage. So, Krishna is suggesting to perform a yajna or sacrifice, and we discuss in detail what exactly it means by sacrifice or yajna. Any work which is, done for the pleasure of Supreme Lord is called yajna. And why we perform sacrifice? We perform tiny sacrifice to get something bigger in return. And what is that bigger in return? One is free of, reactions of his karma. One is not liable to come again and suffer with the material body. With small sacrifices, small yajnas. Now, the problem is, a lot of people are so much attached to material desires, it is not easy even to renounce karma phala, fruits of action, isn't it? Eh? Renouncing karma is difficult, even renouncing the fruits of action is also very difficult. Prahlad Maharaj says in Srimad Bhagavatam, Nate vidu swarth gatim hi Vishnu. Mostly people do not know that their real self-interest is in serving Krishna, is in serving Vishnu. Nate vidu, they don't know. Most of the people do not know. Swarth gatim hi Vishnu, that the real swarth or their real interest or the real, what do you call, real interest is in serving Vishnu or Krishna. You can read the verse also. Yeah. Nate vidu swarth gatim hi Vishnu durashaya ye bahir arth manina अंधा यथा अंधेर उपनीयमानास ते पीशा तंत्रयाम उरुदामनी बद्धा. Prahlad Maharaj says in 7th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, persons who are strongly entrapped by consciousness of enjoying material life, यानी कि people who are too much attached to sense enjoyment, and who have therefore accepted as the leader, as a guru, similar blind man attached to external sense objects. So in this society, you see, most people do not have inclination for spiritual life, isn't it? Most people. And Prahlad Maharaj is saying why? Because most people, even the leaders in the community, people who are seen as role models, they are also too much attached to sense gratification, material desires, and their followers also follow the same. They think this is the best way of living life. One should have big house, big car, big all the facilities in the house, all the opulences, and that is the best form of life. That is the understanding modern society has. So leaders are blind and followers are also blind. Why they are blind? Because they don't know what is their real self-interest. Persons who are entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who are therefore accepted as a leader, as guru, a similar blind man attached to external sense objects cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home, back to Godhead, and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. So most people are unaware of this fact, that why they should serve the Supreme Lord. They think serving their senses is the aim of life. Simply enjoyment materially is the aim of life. As blind men guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into ditch, materially attached men led by another material attachment are bound by the ropes of fruitive labor, which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in the materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. So suffering continues. Now, one cannot renounce his karma to avoid sinful reactions. It is difficult to even renounce the fruits of action. Then what should be done? There has to be some way. That's why Krishna designed yoga ladder, which we discussed in the previous class. Okay, wherein somebody from the bottom line consciousness, degraded consciousness, is gradually elevated from animalistic propensities to bhakti yoga. Okay, that is the purpose. Why? Because we have this kind of messy situation in the world. Krishna is fully aware of this fact that people will not come to him so easily. Why? Because they are so much engrossed in sense enjoyment. They are so much engrossed in enjoying or exploiting this nature. And hence, Krishna recommended what is called as yoga ladder. So, can anyone briefly describe what did we discuss in the previous session in terms of yoga ladder? Briefly. Yes, Manju Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। सभी भक्तों को मेरा दंडवत प्रणाम। प्रभु जी, आपने योगा लीडर्स ने बताया था पहले कि सबसे अविकसित चेतना जो होती है वह पशुओं की चेतना होती है, जिसका एनिमलिस्टिक कॉन्शियसनेस, जिसका विकास नहीं हुआ है। देन एक शुद्ध भक्तों की चेतना सबसे ऊपर उत्तम चेतना होती है। फिर आपने बताया था प्रभु जी कि योग क्या होता है। हम अपनी आत्मा को भगवान की आत्मा से जोड़ते हैं तो उसे योग कहते हैं। क्योंकि अगर हम भगवान की आत्मा से अपनी आत्मा को नहीं जोड़ेंगे तो हमारी बुद्धि का विनाश होगा। फिर प्रभु जी, आपने बताया था कि हमारी चेतना इस प्रकार के होते हैं, जैसे एनिमलिस्टिक लाइफ, ये पशुओं में होती है जो सिर्फ खाने, सोने, मैथुन एवं अपनी आत्मरक्षा के लिए काम करता है। अगर मनुष्य भी इस तरह करे तो पशुओं के समान होता है। दूसरे आपने बताया था कि कर्मकांडी जो अपनी इंद्रिय तृप्ति शास्त्रों के अनुसार करते हैं, शास्त्रों के नियम के अनुसार हमारी आत्मा की शुद्धि होती है, क्योंकि हम शास्त्रों के अनुसार चलते हैं और हमें हमारे वेदों और पुराणों पर विश्वास होता है। परंतु इस चेतना में रहकर हमारी चेतना धीरे धीरे विकसित होती है। फिर प्रभु जी, आपने तीसरा बताया था सकाम कर्म, काम करने योग्य यहाँ हमारी आध्यात्मिक जीवन शुरू होता है, जहाँ उसकी आत्मा की शुद्धि शुरू होती है। इसमें आपने एक उदाहरण भी दिया था कि मनुष्य जो होता है थोड़ा मेटेरियलिस्टिक होते हैं, उन्हें अपने जीवन यापन के लिए भी कुछ काम करना पड़ता है। तो आपने बताया था कि अगर कोई बिजनेसमैन है तो वो बैग बनाता है जिसमें कि कृष्ण संबंधी बुक को वो वितरण करने के लिए जाएगा, तो उसे वो जैसे 20 रुपये में देता है, तो कुछ प्रॉफिट भी करता है, लेकिन वो आधे कृष्ण भावनामृत में रख करके, कृष्ण को केंद्र में रख करके वो अपना प्रॉफिट लेता है। देन फिर आपने बताया था प्रभु जी निष्काम कर्मयोग, जहाँ मनुष्य अपने सारे कर्मों का फल कृष्ण को अर्पण कर देता है, जहाँ कृष्ण को केंद्र में रख करके अपने सारे कर्मों का फल सिर्फ कृष्ण को खुश करने के लिए कृष्ण के तृप्ति में लगा देता है। देन मनुष्य को यहाँ किसी प्रकार की प्रशंसा नहीं चाहिए होती है, लेकिन इस योग में वह अपनी हिसाब से काम करता है। जैसे प्रभु जी आपने बताया था कि मनुष्य, कोई भी व्यक्ति अगर मंदिर जाता है और उसे प्रसाद बनाने का काम दिया जाता है तो वो प्रसाद बनाता है, लेकिन प्रसाद खाने के बाद जो जूठे बर्तन होते हैं उसे यदि साफ करने के लिए दिया जाता है तो वह उसे स्वीकार नहीं करता है। तो उसे इस काम में, प्रसाद बनाने में से प्रशंसा भी नहीं चाहिए, लेकिन वह अपने हिसाब से काम करता है, वह दूसरा कार्य नहीं करता है क्योंकि उसे प्रसाद बनाने में रुचि होती है। फिर प्रभु जी आपने बताया था ज्ञान योग, जहाँ मनुष्य भगवान को जानने की कोशिश करता है, अपने कर्मों से और उसके फल से आसक्त होता है, और वह समझ चुका होता है कि यह शरीर नश्वर है। इस योग में मनुष्य भगवान का भक्त नहीं होता है, भगवान का भक्त नहीं होता है, लेकिन वह कोशिश करता है भक्त बनने की। दिन प्रभु जी आता है अष्टांग योग। इसमें 8 स्टेप्स होते हैं, प्रोसेस होते हैं। यह शांत रस है। इसमें भगवान के भक्त सिर्फ मेडिटेशन में होते हैं और भगवान को याद कर आनंद का रस लेते हैं, अनुभूति प्राप्त करते हैं, आनंद का अनुभव प्राप्त करते हैं, कोई सेवा नहीं करते हैं। भगवान सिर्फ वो अष्टांग योग में सिर्फ मेडिटेशन में होकर ही वो भगवान के दिव्य दर्शन को देखते हैं, भगवान के दिव्य स्वरूप को देखते रहते हैं। भगवान की भोग लगाना, आरती करना, श्रृंगार करना, यह एक प्रकार शांत रस है। फिर प्रभु जी आपने बताया था भक्ति योग, जहाँ हम मन, बुद्धि और शरीर से भगवान की सेवा करते हैं, बिना भगवान से कुछ मांगे, पूर्ण रूप से भगवान को समर्पण करके मनुष्य भक्ति योग प्राप्त कर सकता है और किसी भी वक्त प्राप्त करता है। यही आपने बताया था। फिर आपने प्रभु जी ये एक्सप्रेस एलिवेटर वर्सेस योगा लैडर्स के अनुसार भी बताया था, द एक्सप्रेस एलिवेटर्स ऑफ भक्ति योगा, जिसमें आपने बताया था कि सरेंडर एंड एसोसिएशन ऑफ प्योर डिवोटीज, साधना भक्ति, फिर भाव भक्ति, फिर प्रेम भक्ति। फिर प्रभु जी आपने बताया था प्रोग्रेसिव योगा लैडर्स, इसमें कर्मकांड, उसके बाद सकाम कर्मयोग, निष्काम कर्मयोग, साधना भक्ति, और देन प्रेम भक्ति और भाव भक्ति। देन प्रभु जी आपने फिर बताया था एक्सटेंडेड योगा लेडर्स, इसमें कर्मकांड, सकाम कर्मयोग, निष्काम कर्मयोग, ज्ञान योग, अष्टांग योग और भक्ति योग, ये आपने चार्ट के अनुसार हम लोगों को समझाया।
Thank you.
हरे कृष्णा।
So the gradual upliftment is from karma kand to Sakam Karma Yoga to Nishkam Karma Yoga to Gyan Yoga to Ashtang Yoga to Bhakti Yoga, which is a very long process, gradual upliftment. But what makes the difference? What can make this long process very short? Who will tell? Yes, Mamta Mataji. Briefly. Briefly,
Prabhuji,
मतलब हाँ बोलो.
Bhakti Yoga is superior to all the systems, Prabhuji. A devotee seeks liberation.
No, that is fine. My question is, what makes this long process of yoga ladder very short?
Association of devotees, Prabhuji.
Very good. If any devotee enters your life and he desires, not your desire, he desires that you become a devotee, then this process can be shortened. One can directly is engaged in the service of Krishna through his senses, material senses. And one can surpass all these stages of yoga ladder. Now, all of us have not gone through these stages. Yes or no? We have not gone through Karma Kand, then Sakam Karma Kand, then this. With the blessings of Prabhupada, we are directly involved, engaged in the service of Krishna. We are practicing Bhakti Yoga, even without any qualification. So we should try to appreciate our biggest fortune we have received in this life, which we did not receive in many of the previous lives. So, association with a pure devotee who is none other than direct representative of the Supreme Lord can make this difference. Leaving material desires is not easy. We all know. But when you're associating with devotees, it becomes easy. When you're associating and practicing various limbs of devotional service, it becomes easy. When you start chanting the holy name, it becomes easy. When you start eating only prasadam, it becomes very easy. So, in nutshell, this yoga ladder is for people who are too materialistic and not even able to renounce the fruits, forget about renouncing the karma. For them, this is the yoga ladder which Krishna is explaining in this chapter. But this long process can be cut short with the mercy of a devotee, like Prabhupada. Okay? Is that clear? Now, next section, which is from 3.10, the words we're going to read today, to 3.16, Krishna is going to explain how one moves from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. And very important verses, technical verses, but very, very important. You'll understand the science of this creation. Okay? How Krishna has designed everything so beautifully. The practical application of this section is what? We discuss in 9th verse, it is important to perform sacrifice. Correct? Perform yajna. So Krishna has designed this material world primarily to encourage sacrifice. How? He has designed the different processes in this material world primarily to encourage people perform sacrifice. And how does he do it? By making even material advancement dependent upon yajna. So even if you want to be materially happy, you have to perform yajna. Otherwise you cannot be. You'll have a miserable life. You may have a lot of money. You may have a lot of opulence, but you'll be miserable if you don't perform yajna. So 10 and 11 verses, and in fact 12, will talk about what is the arrangement Krishna has made in this material world, so that even for material gains, material benefits, we have to be dependent on his representatives or his administrators or demigods, so to say. So when we worship or perform yajna for material benefits, in the process we get material benefits and our heart also is purified, which is the target of Krishna. Okay, so when you enjoy in a religious manner, है ना, following religion, so you enjoy also, but at the same time, without your knowledge, one's heart is getting purified. Why so many videos are off today? Today is a Sunday, that's why. Sunday is a holiday. Eh? Few cases I can understand, they have some genuine reasons, but others should be able to switch on the videos. Otherwise, we are always susceptible to distraction. Okay, never mind. So, the purpose of this material world is to purify the heart of people who have too many materialistic desires. We read the purport of Prabhupada of 10th verse and understand the purpose of this creation. Okay, so in a nutshell, what I said, Krishna wants to encourage sacrifice by making even material advancement dependent upon sacrifice. So how it is linked with the previous verse we were talking about Nishkam Karm Yoga, but we know people are too materialistic to even perform Nishkam Karm Yoga, isn't it? So for the gradual upliftment, Krishna has designed this process from Karma Kanda, starting from Karma Kanda. And Karma Kanda is nothing but enjoying by performing religious activities. You know? Performing different yagyas to attain different material benefits. Because he's showing faith in the system of Krishna, because he's got some belief in the scriptures, he's demonstrating some belief, because of this, he is getting rewarded. And what is the reward? Gradual purification of his heart. That is the reward he gets. And 3.10, Krishna is saying, in the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth 10th. Men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this yajna, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation." So one not only lives happily in material life, at the same time, he is moving towards liberation if he is performing these sacrifices. Okay, understood? So I'll read the purport. Okay, I'll tell you some questions right in the beginning. You have to identify answers from the purport I'm going to read. Okay, write down a few questions. What is the purpose of material creation? That is first question. When I read purport, you have to identify, write the answers. Second, what are the benefits of yajna? Third, what is the cause of conditioning in material world? Fourth, what is the purpose of Vedic principles, Vedic instructions? Everybody is not writing. Why? Five, sorry. Which is the best yajna to satisfy Vishnu in the age of Kali? Okay, 5 questions. Let me repeat. What is the purpose of material creation? Second, benefits of yajna. Third, what is the cause of conditioning and material world? Fourth, what is the purpose of Vedic principles? And fifth, which is the best yajna to satisfy Vishnu in the age of Kali? So I'm going to read the purport now. Identify these answers. The material creation by the Lord of creatures, Vishnu, is a chance offered to the conditioned souls to come back home, back to Godhead. All living entities within the material creation are conditioned by material nature because of their forgetfulness of their relationship to Vishnu or Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Vedic principles are to help us understand this eternal relation, as it is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Vedascha Sarver Aham Eva Vedaya. The Lord says that the purpose of Vedas is to understand Him. In the Vedic hymns, it is said, Patim Vishwasyatmeshwaram. Therefore, the Lord of living entities is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also 2.4.20, Srila Sukadev Goswami describes the Lord as Pati in so many ways. Shriya Patir Yagya Patir Prajapatir Dhyam Patir Lokpatir Dharapati Patir Gatis Chandhaka Vrishni Satvatam Prasidatam Me Bhagavan Satam Pati. The Prajapati is Lord Vishnu, and he is the Lord of all living creatures, all words and all beauties, and protector of everyone. The Lord created this material world to enable the conditioned souls to learn how to perform yajna or sacrifice for the satisfaction of Vishnu, so that while in this material world they can live very comfortably without anxiety, and after finishing the present material body, they can enter into the kingdom of God. That is the whole program for the conditioned soul. By performance of yajna, the conditioned souls gradually become Krishna conscious and become godly in all respects. In the age of Kali, the Sankirtan Yajna, the chanting of the names of God, is recommended by the Vedic scriptures. And this transcendental system was introduced by Lord Chaitanya for the deliverance of all men in this age. Sankirtan Yajna and Krishna consciousness go well together. Lord Krishna, in his devotional form as Lord Chaitanya, is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam as follows, with special reference to Sankirtan Yajna. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagne Sankirtana Prayer Yajantihi Sumedasha. In this age of Kali, people who are endowed with sufficient intelligence will worship the Lord, who is accompanied by his associates by performance of Sankirtan Yajna. Other yajnas prescribed in Vedic literatures are not easy to perform in this age of Kali, but the Sankirtan Yajna is easy and sublime for all purposes, as recommended in Bhagavad Gita also 9.14. Wonderful purport, isn't it? So, what is the purpose of creation? Please raise your hand. What is the purpose of creation? Yes, Praful Prabhu.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna.
पर्पस जो क्रिएशन का है वो यही है कि जो मनुष्य है अभी वो अपना किस तरह से यज्ञ करके किस तरह से वापस भगवान की तरफ अपना कर्म करके भगवान की तरफ बढ़े, इसी के लिए उन्होंने वापस से ये मटेरियल लाइफ को क्रिएट किया है कि मटेरियल लाइफ से किस तरह से निकल के वापस वो भगवान के को प्रसन्न करने के लिए कर्म करें।
बहुत अच्छा, थैंक यू प्रभु जी। एनीवन एल्स? ममता माता जी, यस। You're not audible, Mataji. Not audible. I don't know. Anybody else can hear Mataji? I can't hear her. No, no. There's some problem with the sound, so just check your sound setting, Mataji. Anyone else? Please contribute. Yes, Leena Mataji.
It's a chance offered to the conditioned soul to come back home, back to Godhead.
Sorry?
It's a chance offered to the conditioned souls to come back home, back to Godhead.
There's a chance offered to the conditioned soul like us to go back home, back to Godhead. Okay? Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Yes, Daya Mataji.
प्रभु जी, ये मनुष्य यहाँ इस भौतिक संसार में आने के बाद भगवान को भूल जाते हैं, तो उन्हें वापस भगवत धाम पहुंचाने के लिए वे उस ओर अग्रसर होते रहें और वहाँ अपने नियत स्थान पर पुनः पहुंच सकें, इसलिए क्रिएशन बार बार किया जाता है।
बहुत अच्छा, वेरी गुड। So, why this creation was created in the first place? I, explained this story to illustrate this point earlier also. I'll repeat. Once a mother was cooking food. His child came, I also want to cook food. Five-year-old child, I also want to cook food. She said, no, you cannot cook food. You just eat when you feel hungry. No, I also want to cook food. So when he insisted, so mother gave the small utensils like toys, kitchen set, milta na bachcho ka. That she handed over to the child. Okay, go and cook whatever you want to cook. The child was very happy. He received all the utensils and he started cooking. And he was cooking many items. He was cooking matar paneer, pulao, ras malai, on the kitchen set, mind you. And then many of his friends came. They also joined him and started helping him in cooking. And all of them started cooking different items. Okay. And they kept cooking till the time they felt hungry. So can those items satisfy their hunger? Yes? No. So when they felt hungry, they had to take shelter of his mother or his mother. He had to take shelter of his mother. Isn't it? So when a living entity, a soul, wanted to desire independently of the Supreme Lord, Krishna created this toy in the form of material world. Go and try to enjoy. So when living entity comes in this material world, he has many material desires to enjoy independent of the Lord, which is against his nature. A soul's nature is what? Jivira Swarupya hoy Nityar Krishnir Das. Serving the Lord is his nature, and against his nature, he wants to enjoy independently. That is the problem. Against his natural propensity of serving the Supreme Lord, he wants to work against his nature and enjoy this material world, enjoy independent of the Supreme Lord. So Krishna created this material world, which is a kind of toy. However you may want to try to enjoy, you will never be satisfied. Like with the kitchen set, you can make anything. You can make rasmalai, you can make rasgulla, you can make pulao, puri, whatever you want to make. But that food can never satisfy. This material world is a shadow of spiritual world. Can shadow of puri chapati satisfy one? Tell me. Shadow of rasmalai satisfy one's hunger? So anything for material enjoyment is nothing but a shadow of real enjoyment. And hence, it does not have the ability to satisfy one. That's why materially no one is satisfied. However, money he has accumulated, opulence he has accumulated, he is not satisfied. So in material life, there is no possibility of satisfaction, because it is like enjoying shadow of the real world. So Krishna created this. Now, why one does not want to go back? If they're not satisfied, why they don't want to go back also? We go and tell people, please chant the holy name. They say, no, sorry, I'm happy with my family, with my enjoyment, with my children. Why? Because he's conditioned to enjoy. Why? He's conditioned. You know, there was one experiment done by scientists. They put a rat inside a cage, okay, and close the door. So the rat, and they put different buttons inside the cage. So when rat presses one button, there is a small opening on the top. It opens, and a piece of chapati comes down. Okay. He pushes another button, little water comes down. He pushes another button, some stones come down and hit his heart, hit his head. You know. So sometimes he's getting chapati, sometimes what do you call, some water, and sometimes even a stone. Or you can say he's getting both, pains and pleasures by pressing different buttons. By doing different activities, he's experiencing pains and pleasures both at the same time. So the whole night he's trying to now remember which button gives what. He's making formula how to become happy in this cage. Which button will give what. Now in the night, scientist changes the entire configuration of the buttons. Okay, the button which gave chapati now gives stone. Button which gave stone now gives chapati. So configuration is completely changed. So he is pressing different buttons, sometimes getting chapati, sometimes rasgulla, sometimes whatever, different pains and pleasures both. So whole day his life is only about remembering or try to find the best formula to be happy in the cage. Okay. So this carries on for many days. So the whole program in the cage is different karmas give different reactions. Some are pain, some are pleasures. And he is accustomed to find out which gives more pains and which gives less pleasure. So his thought process is only around that. So he is conditioned to think like this, that these buttons, if pressed, some button will give me pain, some will give me pleasure. Now after a few days, scientists opened the door of the cage so that rat can come out. Open the door. Now rat does not want to come out. Why? Door is open. He doesn't want to come. Why? Anyone? Raise your hand and I'll unmute. Yes. ममता माता जी, आपका साउंड नहीं है माता जी, आपका साउंड नहीं आ रहा है आज. ओके, शिवानी माता जी. यस, शिवानी माता जी. Where are you? Sorry, unmute नहीं किया मैंने आपको.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
हरे कृष्ण.
प्रभु जी क्योंकि वो कंडीशन हो गया है उस एनवायरनमेंट के, इसलिए वो बाहर नहीं आना चाहते.
हाँ, जैसे elephant is conditioned, you know. When he's small, his leg is tied with the rope, so he cannot come out. And when he grows big, still he thinks he cannot break the rope. He's conditioned. Pavlov's experiment. I have shared this earlier. So he's conditioned. So now we're conditioned to think that, you know, we can derive different formulas to remain happy in this material world. We have no idea there's a better life outside the cage. Like rat doesn't think anymore. यही ठीक है यार, बढ़िया है. चपाती मिल रही है, पानी मिल रहा है, क्या चाहिए और? You know, once Indra was sent to material world because of Brahaspati's curse. He offended his guru Brahaspati, so he was given curse and he came down to earth as pig. So Indra is pig with his family on the street. So he has pig wife and, you know, a lot of piglets. So there is nobody to take care of heavenly planet. So Brahmaji came to, you know, take him back. He came and told Indra, please come. There is no one to look after your kingdom, heavenly kingdom. Now he is so conditioned in this body. He says, no. I am very happy here. I have my family. I have my wife. So many children. I get so much of stuff to eat here. See, he is conditioned. So even the most, you know, even the pig who is living the most dirtiest condition, he is also conditioned thinking that he is happy. This is conditioning of this material world. Everybody thinks. You see, you know, road pe, the most ugliest person is also taking selfie, thinking that he is the most handsome. Have you seen? Yes or no? Everybody is taking selfie because they think they are the most smart people. This is conditioning. Have you seen selfie? Everybody is taking selfie. Even the maid is taking selfie down. Everybody is taking selfie these days because everybody thinks he or she is most beautiful. Pig thinks he is very happy with his family, you know, lady pig and, you know, a lot of piglets around. Very happy, you know, with my family. So everybody is conditioned to think that he is very happy in this material world and doesn't think that there is some life, better life beyond this material world. For such people, Krishna designed this yoga ladder. Okay, you want to enjoy? Just do this little bit, you'll get enjoyment. Karam Kanda. Gradual upliftment. Okay, so this is the purpose of creation, is to what? Give a chance to such conditioned souls that, you know, they can try to go back home, back to Godhead. And second was, what are the benefits of yajna? Yes, you noted down answers. The benefit of yajna is one, even you want to be materially happy, you have to perform yajna. The first benefit is to get happiness in material world. Though Krishna says dukhalaya mashashvatam is a place of misery, but if following the system given by Krishna, he can be happy even in this material world. Second, while being happy, his heart is getting purified. Why? He is showing faith in the system of Krishna. Third, later towards the end, you know, he has a potential to go back home, enter into the kingdom of God and get ultimate liberation. These are the benefits of yajna. So there are material benefits and spiritual benefits, both. And why one is, you know, what is the cause of conditioning in this material world? Because we have forgotten our relationship with the Supreme Lord. We've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten who is Supreme Lord, who is Krishna. We've forgotten our relationship with Krishna. That causes conditioning. Krishna bhuliya jeev bhoga vancha kare. One who forgets Supreme Lord, he ends up developing propensities to enjoy. And the purpose of this Vedic literature, Vedic principles is to once again re-establish this lost relationship, this forgetfulness. That is the purpose of entire Vedas. Vedascha sarve aham eva vedya. The purpose of Vedas is to know me, so that you can work towards re-establishing this lost relationship. And the best form of yajna in this verse, Prabhupada explains, is Sankirtane Yajna Pray, Yajantihi Sumedasha. The most intelligent people worship the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the form of Sankirtan Yajna. If you simply perform Sankirtan Yajna, you can be materially happy and spiritually happy. Till the time we have fully understood the value of spiritual life, till that time even you will be materially happy. By performing this yajna every day as instructed. While we should not ask for material benefits while chanting, remember. Okay. All of you have understood the value of spiritual life. So while chanting the holy name, we should not seek material benefits. We should ask for material benefits. Okay. In the next verse, Krishna says, Devan bhavyat Devan bhavyatanena te deva bhavyantuvaha parasparam bhavyantaha shreya param vapsyatha. The demigods, being pleased by sacrifices, will also please you, and thus by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all. So in the beginning, one may not understand Supreme Lord, may not understand Krishna. He may develop faith in demigods. It's okay. You do sacrifice for demigods. If demigods are happy with sacrifice, they'll give you enough to be happy materially in this material world. The demigods are empowered administrators of material affairs. The supply of air, light, water, and other benedictions for maintaining the body and soul of living entity is entrusted to demigods. So what is the duty of demigods? They are assistants of Krishna. Their duty is so that they provide everything which is required to living entity to maintain their body and soul together. That is their job. So that we can maintain this body and live the purpose of life of pleasing Krishna. Demigods, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their pleasures and displeasures are dependent on the performance of yajna by the human being. So demigods are happy or not happy based on whether we are performing yajnas or not. For example, during Govardhan Lila time, Krishna told Vrajavasis not to offer, offering to Lord Indra. He told his father, stop offering yajna to Indra. Because he wanted to destroy the pride of Indra. That's why he did it. And he became very displeased. He started, showering heavy rain. Isn't it? So demigods are happy or displeased based on yajnas you perform. Their pleasure and displeasures are dependent on the performance of yajnas by human being. Some of the yajnas are meant to satisfy a particular demigod. But even in so doing, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all the yajnas as chief beneficiary. In 5th chapter, Krishna says, Bhoktaram yag tapasam. The chief beneficiary, Bhoktaram, is Krishna. One may be offering to any demigod, but ultimately it is reaching Krishna only. So practically everybody is worshipping Krishna directly or indirectly. But Krishna says direct offering is much better than indirect offering. Okay. It is also stated in Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is the beneficiary of all kinds of yajnas, Bhoktaram yagatapasam. Therefore, ultimate satisfaction of yajnapatis is the chief purpose of all yajnas. When these yajnas are perfectly performed, Naturally, the demigods in charge of different departments of supply are pleased, and there is no scarcity in the supply of natural products. Performance of yajnas has many side benefits, ultimately leading to liberation from material bondage. By performance of yajnas, all activities become purified, as it is stated in Vedas. Ahara shuddho sattva shuddhi. Sattva shuddho dhruva smriti. Smriti lambhe sarva granthinam vipra mokshaha. By performance of yajna, one's eatables become sanctified, and by eating sanctified foodstuff, one's very existence becomes purified, and by purification of existence, finer tissues in the memory become sanctified, and when memory is sanctified, one can think of path of liberation. So when we eat prasadam, our intensity to seek Krishna goes up because it purifies our finer tissues in our memory. This is what Prabhupada is writing here. And all these combined together lead to Krishna consciousness, the great necessity of present day society. This is the purpose of yajnas. To keep demigods happy, they'll keep you happy in terms of your material needs. So even one wants to lead a material life happily, he or she should perform these sacrifices. Ultimate objective is, of course, liberation or Krishna consciousness. Okay. Any question? Any comment or question by anyone?